Welcome, I'm Stephen Ewashkiw, and this is an Adventure Yoga Level 1-2 Vinyasa class. We're going to flow for about 60 minutes in this class, and what I want you to do is think about how you move through your practice to help you think about how you move through the world. Unroll your mat, and I'll meet you there in just a second. Please come into child's pose. Take your knees wide, place your feet flat. Sit back on your heels, fold forward and stretch your arms forward. Rest your forehead on the ground and settle your mind. To help settle your mind, take a few longer, slower inhales and exhales. Release your day. Whatever your day has held for you today, let it go. And come here to be on your mat with me. Today we're going to think about and focus on how we move through the world. Being a little more conscious about where we are, where we place ourselves, and how we take that out into the world and move through the world. We also think about how we breathe here in our practice to help us really stay steady and focused as we move through the world. Lengthen your inhale a little bit. And lengthen your exhale a little bit. Tone the very bottom of your pelvis slightly. Like you're tightening up the bottom of your butt a little bit. Tone your belly a little bit. Breathe through your nose. And steady your breath. Push down through your feet and knees, push down through your hands, and come up to your hands and knees, all fours. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Bring your knees under your hip points. And make your shins parallel to each other. Inhale. And exhale. Round your back into cat pose. Inhale. Arch your back into cow pose. Exhale. Look forward and look up. Inhale. Cat. Exhale. Cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Walk your hands forward. Lift your hips up and back. And exhale. Straighten your right leg, bend your left knee. Stay here. Inhale. And then change sides. Exhale. Straighten your left leg, bend your right knee. Stay here with your inhale. And change sides. Exhale. Change sides. Inhale, left leg straight, right knee bent. And change sides. Exhale. Right leg bent, left knee, right leg straight, left knee bent. Walk your hands back to your feet. Come to Uttanasana at the back of your mat. And relax your head. Fold over your legs. Steady your breath here. Walk your hands forward about halfway and bring your knees down to the ground. Sit on your heels, sit up tall. Vajrasana. Bring your hands in front of your heart and close your eyes. Notice where you're sitting on your heels. Imagine the space at the bottom of your pelvis between your heels.
Move it towards each other. So move the left side and right side of your pelvis in towards each other a little. Move the front and back of your pelvis towards each other a little. Tighten up the muscles at the bottom of your pelvis, then lift them away from the ground. Mula Bandha. Like you're tightening up your jeans or tightening up the draw strap on your yoga pants, tighten up your waist a little bit. Move it back towards your spine and get a little lift there in your belly. Uddiyana Bandha. Breathe through your nose and tone your throat. Steady your breath. Work to make your inhale and exhale the same length as each other. Ujjayi Pranayama. Yoga helps us become more aware of how our actions affect others. Helps us be more conscious of the actions we take, the movements we make. And how we place ourselves on the mat is practice for how we place ourselves in the world. We're going to work today on being more aware of what's happening in our hips. Before we do that, let's sing one Om together. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Bow your chin to your chest with your exhale. And lower your hands to your lap. Lift your chin, open your eyes. Inhale. Stretch your arms up. Bring your hands to the ground at your sides. Exhale. Push down through your toes and your fingers. Lift your knees. Inhale. And stand up. Exhale. Stand in Tadasana at the top of your mat. Start with your feet hip distance apart. Place your hands on your waist and move your hips a little bit. I'm going to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. If you're like, what? Just move your hips a little bit. Feel your hips move. And with your hands on your waist, notice that when you move your hips, one side can lift while the other side dips. One side can move forward while the other side moves back. Even play with lifting your knee up. Doesn't matter which knee. Move it around and see how that affects the height and the way your hip is moving towards the front or back. Play with the other side. And enjoy this freedom, because usually I'm telling you exactly what to do, and here it's just kind of like, move and feel what happens. You can take little side steps or step forward and just notice, yeah, now I'm dancing with you. If we're on TikTok, this would be all the rage. And then come to a steady position. Come to Tadasana. And when we stand in Tadasana, things are pretty balanced. So work to have your hips at the same height. So where you're touching with your hands at your waist, have your hands at the same height, and have your hands the same distance away from the front of your mat. So not one hip point forward or the other one back, not one hip lifted and the other one dropped. Work to have your hips even. That's what we're going to look for when we're moving through the Vinyasa today. All you have to do is your best. Regular Tadasana, arms at your sides. We're going to do 3 Surya Namaskar A to start. The first one we'll do a little more slowly. The second and third we'll do with our breath. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands shoulder distance apart to start. Stay here. And exhale. Push down through your feet, stretch up through your fingers. Inhale. Stretch long. And exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Touch the ground, so if you need to bend your knees to touch the ground, do. Inhale here. Push forward with your fingers a little. Fold forward over your legs. Exhale. Place your hands flat on the ground. Look forward a little. And inhale, lift your chest. Keep your hands flat. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Stay here and exhale. Stay here and inhale. Lift your chest a little. And then step it back to plank pose. Exhale. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale. Stay here. Exhale. Tone your belly. Inhale. Bend your elbows a little. Point your elbows back towards the back of your mat. Exhale. Bend your elbows a little more. Lower your chest a little more. Inhale. Bend your elbows a little more. Work to not collapse to the ground. Exhale. If you can go right to Chaturanga, you may do that and hold. We're going to move into up dog. Place your feet flat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tone your belly. Move back towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift your hips up and back. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And steady your breath here. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. The nice thing about Surya Namaskar A is it helps us keep our hips nice and steady. Even, balanced. So we can just move through these poses and get our body active. Bend your knees as you exhale. Look forward and walk to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana. Keep your hands flat for this one. Bend your knees, lift your chest. Inhale. And stay here. Exhale. Inhale. Fold forward. Straighten your legs a little more or all the way. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Place your hands on your waist. Bend your knees a little and inhale, stand up. Stay here with your hands on your waist. Exhale. Tadasana. And then look down at your hands and see if your hips are square to the front of the mat and if they're at the same height. And if they're not, just work to adjust them. Unless you know that you have a natural disposition where one hip is higher because that's the way your body is, then just do your best. That's your best. That's cool. We're not all the same. Stretch your arms down at your sides. Tadasana. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Step back to plank pose and bend your elbows a little. Exhale. Bend your elbows a little more. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. Bend your knees. Exhale. Look forward and float or walk to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Stand up and reach up. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. Now I've moved to feet together, hands together while my arms are up overhead because I'm feeling a little warmed up. If you're feeling like that too, you can do that. Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Step or jump to Chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale. And with your breath out, move forward. Walk or float. Ardha Uttanasana with your inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Stand up. Urdhva Hastasana or Urdhva Namaskarasana. Tadasana. In Tadasana, bend both knees. Lift your right leg up and cross your right leg high over your left. If you can hook your foot, hook your foot. Take your right arm underneath your left. Wrap your upper arms. If you can wrap your wrists, do. In Garudasana. Now, really challenging here is to have your hips at the same height. So the left side and the right side. Draw your right hip down. And then hug your left hip in. That's going to help you find your hip stability here. But if you're watching me, you can see, like, it's hard to be stable. Just do your best. Unwrap, shake it off. Nice thing, we only have two sides to our body. We don't have to do that on the other side. Well, I was going to say once, but it's coming back. Bend your knees. Wrap your left leg high over your right. And if you can hook your foot, hook your foot. Take your left arm underneath your right. Wrap your wrists if that's available. Garudasana. So naturally here in the shape of the pose, your left hip will lift higher than your right hip. Work to draw your left hip down. This is hard to do while you're talking people through it. Draw your left hip down. That's going to help hug your left hip down and in. But it's also going to pop your right hip out to the right. So also stabilize your right hip by pulling your right leg into your left leg and hugging your outer right hip in. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs, shake it up. We're going to do some Surya Namaskar B before we get back to Garudasana. Stand, Tadasana, feet together, arms at your sides. Tadasana. Steady your breath here. Let go of that Garudasana. It can be really unsteady. Don't worry about it. Find your steadiness here in mountain pose. Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Move your hips back, stretch your arms up. Inhale. Sit deeply. Exhale. Reach up. Inhale. Fold forward. Uttanasana. Exhale. Stay in Uttanasana. Inhale. And exhale. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your chest a little. Keep touching the ground. And stay here. Exhale. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Inhale. Make your way to Chaturanga. You can walk back to plank, you can lower to Chaturanga, or float to Chaturanga. Stay here. Inhale. You can always bring your knees to the ground if you need it, and stay here. Exhale. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Stay here. Exhale. Inhale, lift up through your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come up onto your fingertips and step your right foot forward. Inhale. Step your left foot forward a little, spin your heel in, set your feet up for warrior one. Exhale, bend your right knee over your ankle. Bring your hands to your waist, lift your torso. Inhale. Pull your left hip forward. Look down at your hands on your waist and work to have your left hip in line with your right hip. Your right hip might lift higher than your left hip, so pull back and down with your right hip. Pull forward with your left hip. They probably won't get perfectly in line with each other. Just do your best. Keep that, look forward, stretch your arms up. If you want to take it a little bit further, look up. Bring your hands together. Virabhadrasana. Pull your left hip forward, hug your right hip back and down. Inhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Exhale, step it back to plank pose and lower into Chaturanga. Stay here. Inhale. And stay here. Exhale. Up dog. Inhale. Stay. Exhale. Lift your chest. Inhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. Come to your fingertips. Look forward. Step your left leg forward. Inhale. Step your right foot forward a little. Spin your heel down. And exhale. Push with your right foot to bring your left knee over your ankle. Inhale, hands to your waist. Lift your torso. Look forward. And then look at your hands. You're probably doing what I'm doing. Your right hip's back behind your front of your left hip. Your left hip's higher than your right hip. That's fine. We're going to work to find balance. All that we're asking for is that we are more conscious of how we're moving through the world. It doesn't have to be some idealized version of perfect. Just do your best to pull your right hip forward in line with your left hip. Keep your left knee over your ankle, Pull back through your outer left hip and hug it down, working to get your hips even. Do your best. Look forward, stretch your arms up, shoulder distance apart, and look forward for Virabhadrasana 1. Or go deeper into Virabhadrasana 1, look up, bring your hands together. Push through your right foot, pull your right hip forward, pull back with your left foot, pull your left hip back and down. Bring your hands down to the ground, and step back to plank pose, Samoa, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Stay here. You can always bring your knees to the ground. Work to keep your chest off the ground. Exhale. Up dog. Inhale. And stay. Exhale. Lift your chest. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath here. Inhale. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale. Lift your heels and float or walk forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Bend your knees, sit deeply. Utkatasana. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. Utkatasana. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Make your way to Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Up dog. Inhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. And step your right leg forward, left heel down. Rise up Virabhadrasana 1. Pull your left hip forward, right hip back. Exhale. Inhale, bring your hands down. Exhale, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward, right heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Pull your right hip forward, left hip back and down. Exhale. Inhale, hands to the ground. And exhale, step it back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Steady your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your hips up. Pull your hips up and back. Exhale. Last breath here. Inhale. Bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward as you exhale. And with your breath out, float or walk to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Utkatasana. Bend your knees, lift your arms, lift your chest. And Tadasana. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Make your way to Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Up dog. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Right leg forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, come back and down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left leg forward, right heel down. Inhale, warrior 1. And then keep it going. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Bend your knees, look forward, exhale, and float or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Utkatasana, bend your knees. Inhale, and Tadasana. Exhale. Take a couple breaths in Tadasana. Steady your breath. Steady your mind. And then turn your right leg out for Rikshasana. Tree pose. Place your right foot high on the inside of your left leg. Place your hands on your waist. So I want you to notice what happens here. Because of the shape, your right hip will lift. If you know where your sit bones are, think about your sit bones at the bottom of your right hip and tuck your right sit bone down and hug it in. If you saw what happened in my pose, it looks a lot like move your right knee down.
But what's actually happening is I'm lowering the bottom part of my pelvis, draw it down and in. Help stabilize my hips by steadying, by figuring out where they are moving through the world in my tree pose. When you feel steady, bring your hands to your heart, or stretch your arms up overhead if you're feeling super steady. Super steady. Bring your hands together when your arms are overhead if you want to take it further. If you do hands together, work to straighten your arms, not bent elbows. Rikshasana, tree pose. Tadasana, mountain pose. Rikshasana, other side. Turn your left leg out. Bring your left foot high above your right knee. Place your left foot on the inside of your right leg, and bring your hands onto your waist, and then look down at your hands. This can be off-putting, can throw off your balance if you're used to looking forward. Definitely doing that for me. Now your left hip is probably lifted higher than the right hip. That's fine. Look forward to find your drishti, your point of focus. Think about your left sit bone. Draw it down and in to work to stabilize your hips in space and stabilize your legs into your pelvis and your torso into your pelvis. To find stability. If you find stability, take it further and bring your hands to your heart. And if you want to go further, stretch your arms all the way up. If you want to go further, bring your hands together for the Namaste. Straighten your arms if your arms are overhead. Tuck your left hip down and in. Squeeze your right hip in. Rikshasana. Just more conscious of how your tree pose is moving through space. Tadasana. Place your hands on your waist. Whenever we do these one leg in a different position than the other leg, that's when our hips get out of balance. So when you do this, lift your right knee. But your right hip's going to want to lift, but actually more stable, more steady and focused if you draw your right hip down. So lift your right knee, but draw your right hip down. Keep that and straighten your right leg. Uttanasana Tadasana. Keep moving your right sit bone, the very bottom of your hip down, and hugging it in towards your left thigh. Bend your right knee, place your right foot on the ground. Keep your hands on your waist. Lift your left knee up. Work to not hike your left hip up though, and if you do, it's fine. Work to find a little more conscious engagement and draw your left sit bone down and hug it in so that your hip points are at the same height. Straighten your left leg. Lifted one leg pose, Uttanasana Padasana. Work to keep your left hip drawing down. And move your right hip point back a little so your hips are even in space. Up and down and front and back. Square and level. Bend your left knee. Tadasana. Now, I call the next section Surya Namaskar C, pretty much always. And we've got a two-part Surya Namaskar C this class. It's going to start with Garudasana. Lift your right knee, wrap your right leg over your left. Take your right arm underneath your left, or to draw your right hip down and hug it in to square your hips here, to level your hips. Be more conscious of how you move your pose through the world. Rikshasana, tree pose. Bring your right leg high inside your left and choose hands to hips so you can really work to steady your hips and to stabilize them in space, or hands to heart, or arms up overhead. You choose. Uttanasana Padasana, point your right knee forward, tuck your right hip down and in, and straighten your right leg. Tuck your right hip underneath you, hug it in, bend your left knee, step your right leg back. Call this Warrior One variation, or high lunge. Push your right toes down, lift your right heel up, Stretch your arms up. Pull your right hip forward. Having the back heel lifted here really helps get your hips more even towards the front of the mat. And then pull your left hip back and down so you can get your hips at the same level, same height as well. Then it's back to lifted one leg pose, Utthita Ekapadasana. So to help you get there, pull back with your left foot, bend your right knee, and then step it forward. Lift your right knee up, straighten your right leg out, tack your right hip down, keep your right hip drawing down and in, and turn your right leg out for tree pose. Keep your right hip drawing down and in, bend your left knee, back to Garudasana, eagle pose. Wrap your right arm underneath your left, and Tadasana. So that's part one of our little Surya Namaskar C. Let's try it on the other side. Bend your knees, cross your left leg over your right. If you can hook your foot, hook your foot. Take your left arm underneath your right. If you can hook your wrists, hook your wrists. Now, to help find the stability that's challenging in this pose, tuck your left hip underneath you and draw it in towards your right leg. Pull your knees towards each other to help with that. Rikshasana, tree pose. Undo your arms. Place your left foot high on the inside of your right. And do hands to hips, hands to heart, or arms overhead, your choice. Work to level your hips here. So instead of having your left hip hiked up, draw your left hip down, pull your sit bone down in towards your right thigh. All that's hard enough to do in real life without having to instruct it and give visual cues as well. So it's challenging wherever you are. Lifted one leg pose. Point your left knee forward. Stretch your left leg out. Bring your hands to your waist, or hands to heart, or arms overhead. But wherever you are, tack your left hip down. Hug your left sit bone in towards your right thigh. To Warrior One variation, or sometimes called high lunge, bend your right knee, bend your left knee, step your left leg back, push your toes down, stretch your arms up. I like this variation because it helps us square our hips in a way that's even harder if we do full Warrior One with the heel down. So keep your left heel lifted and pull your left hip forward. You can even bring your hands to your hips to check it out. Get your hips in line with each other. And then work to level out your right hip. It's probably hiked up a little bit. Draw it down and hug it outer edge of your hip in. Warrior One variation, I call this. Next is lifted one leg, again. So pull back with your right foot. Bend into your left knee. And then step it forward, lift your left knee. Straighten your left leg. Tack your left hip down. Keep your left hip tacking down as you turn your leg out and come into Rikshasana, tree pose. Keep your left hip tacking down and hugging in. Bend your right knee. Garudasana your legs, left arm under your right, Garudasana your arms. And Tadasana. Shake it off. Let it go. We'll do the other side one more time like this. But faster, because now we know it. Bend your knees. Wrap your right leg over your left. Right arm under your left. Garudasana. Inhale. Rikshasana. Exhale. Point your right knee forward. Inhale. Straighten your right leg. Tack your right hip down. Exhale. Warrior One variation. Step your right leg back. Inhale. Pull your left hip back and draw it down to level your hips. Exhale. And then get ready to step forward. Inhale, step your right knee up and forward. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Tack your right hip down. Tree pose, keep your right hip moving down. Inhale. And exhale, Garudasana. Wrap your right leg over your left, right arm under your left. Inhale, unwrap. Exhale, Tadasana. Other side, bend your knees, wrap your left leg over your right, left arm under your right. Inhale. Exhale, Rikshasana. Inhale, point your left knee forward. And exhale, stretch your left leg straight. Tack your left hip down. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, warrior one variation. Step your left leg forward. Inhale. Straighten your left leg. Exhale. Tack your left hip down and turn your left leg out. Inhale, Rikshasana, tree. Exhale, Garudasana. Left arm under your right, left leg over your right. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, Tadasana. Nice. And then relax. Shake it off for a moment. We're going to play with a couple other things that we're then going to bring back into that sequence. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Step back, downward facing dog. Lift your hip points up and back. Lift your right leg up, but work to not lift your right hip. So just lift your right leg so that the top of your thigh, your femur, moves in your hip joint. Don't lift your right hip up. Work to keep your hips even and level here. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Round your back like cat. Bring your right knee to your nose. Then look between your hands and place your right foot flat on the ground. And come up to your fingertips. Pull back with your right foot to move your right hip back and tack your right hip down. Push through your feet. Bring your hands to your waist and lift your torso. High lunge. And then look down at your hands. See how you're doing with hips even, level. If your right hip's hiked up a little bit, stretch your right knee over your ankle. Pull back with your outer hip and draw it down. If your left hip is moving back still, push down through your left toes and pull your left hip forward. Work to find your hips square to the front of the mat and level based on the floor. Stretch your arms up, warrior one variation. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale and smile. Twist to the right. Exhale. Twisted lunge. In twisted lunge, you'll often lift your right hip up. So instead, tack your right hip down. Twist through your spine a little bit more. Warrior one variation. Inhale, back to center. Stretch your arms up. Bring your hands down and exhale. Step it back to plank pose. And lower Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees, look forward, and make your way forward. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Stand up and reach up. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. Other side. Steady your breath. Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Step back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Inhale. Lift your hips up and back. Exhale. Work to keep your hips at the same height in space. So lift just your left leg up, not your left hip up. Inhale. Just be more aware of how you move through space. Your natural tendency might be to lift your hip here. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want you to be more conscious of how you move and work to prevent that lift of the hip. Shift forward, shoulders over your wrists like plank. Then round your back like cat pose as you bend your left knee and bring your knee to your nose. Look between your hands and step your left foot forward. come to the lunge. Come up onto your fingertips. Now here, your left hip is probably lifting, so tack it back and draw it down. Push down through your left foot. Push through both feet, bring your hands to your waist, and lift your torso. And then look down at your hands. See how you're doing with hips square to the front and hips level. And wherever you need to make an adjustment, make an adjustment. Bring your left knee over your ankle, tack your left hip back and down, and if you need to draw your right hip forward a little more, do. Warrior One variation, stretch your arms up. Push through your right toes, pull back with your left hip, bring your hands to your heart, stretch up through your spine, and twisted lunge to the left. Work to not hike your left hip up here. Instead, draw your left hip down and hug it in, twist through your spine, twisted lunge. Warrior One variation, come back to center, stretch your arms up, stabilize your hips, bring your hands to the ground, step back to plank pose, and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, one breath here, and exhale. Bend your knees, look forward, and float or walk to the top of your mat, Ardha Uttanasana, Uttanasana. Stand up, reach up, inhale, Tadasana, exhale. Same thing again, a little bit faster. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Work to keep your hips balanced and even. Inhale, step back to plank, down dog, exhale, down dog. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Shift your shoulders forward, around your back, knee to nose, exhale. Place your right foot down, come to your fingertips, inhale, stabilize your hips. Exhale, high lunge. Inhale, hands to your heart. Exhale, twisted lunge. Tack your right hip back and down. Inhale, Warrior One variation. Exhale, hands down, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, move forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Stand up and reach up. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale. Other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step back to down dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up. Inhale. Knee to nose, shoulders over your wrists. Exhale. Place your left foot flat. Come to your fingertips. Inhale. Warrior One variation. Exhale. Hands to your heart. Stretch up through your spine. Stabilize your hips. And exhale, twisted lunge. Inhale, Warrior One variation. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose, and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One breath, inhale. And exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and make your way forward. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Stand up and reach up, inhale. Tadasana, exhale. Stay in Tadasana, steady your breath. And calm your nerves by coming back to your Ujjayi Pranayama. I know, when we move that quickly, it's easy to let go of your breath. Become more aware of your breath. Now we're going to take those two parts of Surya Namaskar C and put them together. We're going to start with part 2. We're going to add part 1 into it. It's just half of part 1 though. So it's like this. Ready? Hope so, because I'm going. Come with me. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, fold forward.
Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale. And set in your down dog. Exhale. Work to keep your hips even. Lift your right leg up. Inhale, shift forward, round your back. Exhale, knee to nose. Place your right foot down. Inhale, fingertips, look forward. Exhale, reach up, warrior one variation. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale. Warrior one variation. Inhale. Now we're going to step our left leg forward. Exhale. Step your left leg forward. And inhale, straighten your left leg out. Tack your left hip down. Exhale, tree pose. And stay. Find your stable tree. Garudasana. Wrap your left leg over your right. Wrap your left arm under your right. And stay here. Exhale. Unwrap it. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. Other side. Reach up. Inhale. Fold forward. Exhale. Step back to down dog. Inhale. And down dog. Exhale. Lift your left leg up. Inhale. Round your back, knee to nose. Exhale. Place your left foot down. Fingertips. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, warrior one variation. Hands to your heart. Inhale. Twist to the left. Twisted lunge. Exhale. Square your hips. Inhale. Warrior one variation. Step your right knee forward. Exhale. Straighten your right leg. Inhale. Tree pose. Exhale. Stay here for your inhale. Tack your right hip down. And exhale. Garudasana. Inhale here. Exhale. Trikonasana. Fun, right? My main teacher is Noah Maze, and Noah says, if you only do it once, it's not Vinyasa. So I say that. So we got to do that full Surya Namaskar C one more time. And then we can cool down and settle into Shavasana. Ready? Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, down dog. Lift your right leg up. Inhale. Knee to nose, shoulders over your wrists. Exhale. Right foot down, come to your fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, stretch it up, warrior one variation. Inhale, hands to your heart. Pull your right hip back as you twist to the right. Exhale. Inhale, warrior one variation. Step your left leg forward. Exhale. Straighten your left leg. Uttita Ekapadasana. Tack your left hip down. Inhale. Rikshasana. Exhale. Stay here. Inhale. Garudasana. Exhale. Stay here. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. It goes by pretty quickly when we get to this point. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to down dog. And stay, down dog. Exhale. Lift your left leg up. Inhale. Knee to nose, shoulders over your wrists. Exhale. Left foot down, fingertips. Inhale, look forward. Stretch it up, warrior one variation. Exhale. Hands to your heart. Inhale, tack your left hip back and down. Twist to the left. Exhale. Inhale, warrior one variation. Step your right leg forward. Exhale. Stretch your right leg out. Inhale, tack your right hip down. And exhale, Rikshasana, tree. Stay here for your inhale and stretch it out. Tack your right hip down and in. And Garudasana, inhale. Right leg over left, right arm under left. Inhale here. Exhale. Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step it back to down dog. And exhale. Don't worry, we're not doing the same thing. Lift your right leg up. Inhale. Step your right foot forward. Exhale. Bring your left knee down, place your left foot flat. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, reach your arms up. Let's do a back bend. Untitled, push your hips down and forward. Lift your chest up and back. Stay here. Steady your breath. Move your shoulders back and down. Lift your chest up and back. Think about your hips here. Tack your right hip back. And tuck your right sit bone down and in towards your left thigh. Then push through your left foot to lift up and back more. Inhale, hands down. Tuck your left toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Bring your right knee down. Place your right foot flat. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, lift up. Push hips down and forward. Inhale, lift your chest up and back. Move your shoulders back and down as you exhale. Tuck your left hip back. Tuck your left sit bone towards your right thigh. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl back. Untitled. Inhale, hands down. Tuck your right toes. Exhale, down dog. Lift your right leg up. Inhale. Step your right foot forward. Left knee down. Left foot flat. Exhale. Inhale, Untitled. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward, right knee down, right foot flat. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, child's pose. You can do what you like with your arms for child's pose. Get heavy. Slow your breath down. Relax. You've done the really hard work. You've done amazing hard work. Now slow your breath down. Slow your nerves down. Let yourself know you survived. Just like your Ujjayi promised. Victorious. Place your hands by your knees and sit up. Bring your knees together. Sit up tall. Just a gentle twist. Take your right hand onto your lower back. Take your left hand outside your right knee. Look forward. Sit up tall. Draw your lower back in. Use your right hand to help encourage that. And then twist. Look over your right shoulder. Lift the outer edges of your mouth up. Smile. Smile to thank yourself for the work you've done. Smile to remind yourself that you chose this, to feel this, to experience this, and to become a little more conscious of how you move through the world, and to remind yourself to stay conscious of how you place yourself in the world. Then inhale, come back to center. And exhale here. Place your left hand on your lower back. Keep looking forward. Take your right hand, hold above your left knee. Sit up tall, draw your lower back in. Inhale. And exhale. Just a gentle twist to the left. Breathe. Back to center. Inhale. Move your hips to one side. And exhale. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Move yourself forward on your mat if you're towards the back, so your heels are right near the front.
Stretch your arms out in front of you. Relax your fingers, relax your wrists, and slowly roll yourself down the mat. Turn your palms up at your sides. Separate your feet. Turn your legs out. Turn your palms up. Tuck your shoulders underneath you. And close your eyes. You don't have to worry about where you are in space now. Simply rest. Take a moment, scan your body, and see if there's anywhere where you're really holding on still. If there is, ask it to release. Relax your fingers and your wrists. Relax your shoulders and your belly. Release your hips and your legs. And just spend a few minutes here with yourself, for yourself. Shavasana.
Deepen your breath. Move your fingers a little. Move your toes a little. Move your wrists and your ankles. And deepen your breath. Wake yourself up. Stretch through your arms and your shoulders. Stretch through your feet and your legs. Stretch as you like to stretch here. time, bend your knees. And turn onto your side. And press yourself up to seated. And join me in a seated position. Sit up tall. Close your eyes. And bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Yoga can help us be more aware of who we are and how we put ourselves out into the world. Our practice, it's a physical practice for you to be stronger. But it's also a practice for you to be more conscious. Practice for you on your mat. But it's a practice to take out into the world as well. Thanks for practicing today.
Thanks for joining me for class today. Before you go, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please just click on my picture there to subscribe. And if you're looking for a class to do, there's one of my classes that you can do another day. Click on that, add it to your watch later list. Bada bing, done. Thanks for practicing. I'll see you soon.